need help with a theme song. That, I think, is one of the greatest songs ever written by a friend of mine. His name is McKinley Fruit. And I admit I recorded that, and I certainly have nothing to apologize for. Warner Brothers evidently has a great deal to apologize for. They released it. But I'll give you a choice. I have written 3 songs, and I figure I got to make money some way. Those songs never made any money when they were released. I had Pete Fountain recorded this. I'm just a surfing boy, though you treat me like a toy. I'm a man. Can't you see through my tan? It's got guts to it. It's got feel. It's got moment. It's got morality to it. It's got 82 all about it. Or that great country western classic that I wrote about 2-3 years ago. I'd rather roll in dirt, 'cause I don't want to be hurt by you. I'd rather wallow in mud than take your lousy crud, 'cause I know you'd never be true. Now, I give you a choice of the 3, but I'm still going to go with what I like, which happens to be, for the moment, I just am partial to the first Foxtrot in Fargo. Besides, I wouldn't take any advice from Paul Wallach nor Steve Knight. The last time I took advice from either of them, I wound up at Riverside Emergency having my stomach pumped. So as a consequence, I wish you'd just leave me alone, let me live my life for whatever it's worth, and get on with it. I have to tell you 2 things. I am so damn proud. I'm going to get into some funny stuff here, I hope, here in just a couple of minutes. It's a strange thing. I have a kid, and you're always proud of your own kid. You have to be proud of your own kid. It could be the worst kid in the whole world. It could be a rapist, a murderer, and my kid is all of that, and many more things. But once in a while, just something happens that makes you want to burst. Now, in this business, radio, television, or any form, I suppose, of the entertainment business, whatever it may be, you have to have a supreme ego, and usually you have to think of yourself first, and I do. Now, that isn't true. But the point is that I just heard from my child a little while ago, Jason, and he just received a promotion at his company. And I never realized what it's like to feel something for someone else's own joy. And I could feel that marvelous exultation that he obviously was enjoying. He was riding a crest of euphoria. And I don't think I've ever, even when I was married, I've never remembered sharing the joy at that high a level with someone in my whole life. I just got off the phone with him about 5-6 minutes ago. As I say, this doesn't interest you at all, but it's just something I had to voice out loud just to hear what it sounded like. He's a fine human being, as I say. He's not worthy of me, but then again, no child that I have is worthy of me. But he's a fine, fine person, and to have received this kind of a promotion, which is very, very important to him in his business, etc. And I can't believe that I feel this good for somebody else. I suppose it's good that I feel this good for somebody else, but I'm absolutely just swimming in total happiness. You ever felt that way? I don't think I can recall that. And the other thing, since I'm on a semi-serious note, my sister stood me up. I mean, this is my social life anyhow. My own sister stands me up. At Hollywood Burbank last Friday night, I got dressed up, put a necktie on to meet my sister, who was flying in on her way to San Diego for a convention, etc. As I told you, my sister was born 3 years younger than I. She's now 7 years older and gaining momentum with each passing year. At any rate, it was her mistake. She did not land at Hollywood Burbank. But here's my point. How long has it been since you've been to Hollywood Burbank? Do you want to go back to the 30s just for a fleeting instant? Boy, that place is wonderful. It really, they got the 3-minute parking zone, but they don't enforce it. I mean, they say, how long have you been here? Well, I've been here 3 minutes, officer. Well, all right, move on. I mean, they don't give you the ticket. I was trying to find my sister. I did not know what airline she was coming in on. I would go to another airline counter, and the ladies there, helpful. They did everything. They called San Diego. They called San Francisco for me. One lady from another counter went into the ladies' room to see if my sister was in there. One of the security persons out at the Hollywood Burbank Airport walked with me to make sure I covered all aspects of the airport, because I hadn't been out there in a little while. They're very nice people out there, and I tell you something, it sounds dumb to want to go to an airport. I mean, but can you imagine that happening at LAX? Come on, forget it. Or Kennedy, or O'Hare, or even Lindbergh down in San Diego, forget it. You know, but that community feeling, that wonderful feeling of a lost time for just a brief 2 hours for me Friday night. Made it the best Friday night I've had in a long, long time. As I said, I didn't mean to get started like this. We have some things we have to get done here. And then I'm going to take a look at the charter amendments for you and the propositions for you. Then I'm also going to have in as a guest this evening Nikki Harris of the League of Women Voters. As you know, they are a totally unbiased organization. She will fairly spell out for you and define each of the propositions, all 12 of them, for tomorrow, along with the charter amendments. And I invite your calls naturally. Anything that you wish to ask her, or me for that matter, because I'm much smarter than anybody, as you know, you are more than welcome to do that. And I think it'll be good. So what I would do, if I may make a suggestion, the reason I'm doing this is because this was requested by 3 or 4 people who didn't understand the ballot any more than I did. I went through it this afternoon, and I'm not sure I still understand it. The point is that you want to vote tomorrow, but you want to know who you're voting for and why you're voting for and what you're voting for. So I thought it would be a good idea. The League of Women Voters agreed with me. As a consequence, they will be with us here then in a little while, and we'll review for you then the propositions and the charter amendments. There are only 2 of those, of course, but you'll get a fair and unbiased, and that's a redundancy, I realize, an unbiased view of the propositions and the charter amendments. All right? So any questions you might have, then I would suggest you hold on to them. I would, if I may make a suggestion, take out your ballot, your sample ballot, and maybe make your markings as you're listening to Ms. Harris of the League of Women Voters. Okay, so we'll get to that and some other things as we get started here on a Monday evening. This is June 7, 1982, and a good evening, everybody. My name is Dick Whittington. Sweet Dick to some, and to some it isn't. Okay, now let me just do something here, and then we'll get right back to you.
When you vote for Los Angeles County Assessor on Tuesday, remember this. The current county assessor has taken 92 trips at taxpayers' expense. He voted against Proposition 13, and he's still fighting to change it. Stephen Weeks believes our assessor should stay at his desk and do his job. Stephen Weeks supported Proposition 13, and he'll defend your property tax savings. For fair and equal assessments, elect Stephen Weeks, Los Angeles County Assessor.
Paid for by taxpayers for Stephen Weeks.
All right, now before I take a look at the propositions for you and the charter amendments, let me just remind you again about Ro Jarve. Very nice man who, unfortunately, has no neck and has no legs, but has perhaps the longest torso on each end that perhaps you'll ever see in your whole life. And it's a marvelous physical apparition that you'll see when you once walk into Rancho Chevrolet. Ro, R-O-E, happens to own Rancho Chevrolet and has for the last 30 years in the same location. He's something to take your kids to see. Your kids probably have taken them to the zoo too many times, Magic Mountain, Disneyland, Knott's Berry Farm, etc., and on and on. But they have never seen anything quite like what Ro Jarve looks like. And that, quite frankly, if your children don't want to grow up, this might give them incentive not to grow up. Ro Jarve, the owner, proud owner of Rancho Chevrolet, and business is very good, thank you, and that's why that he can offer, I believe to you, he and of course his sales force, plus his service department, can offer you by far the best possible opportunities. Notice I don't use deals. I hate that word deals. Only when I'm tired do I fall into that cliche deals. Everybody uses deals. Opportunities for you in the buying of a new Chevrolet. And we're talking about the Monte Carlo. We're talking about the Chevette, the all-new 82 Cavalier, the Celebrity, the all-new 82 Impala, the Caprice, the Love Trucks, of course, and naturally, the Z82, and that's the Camaro. The Motor Trend Car of the Year, the car that has done it all for Chevrolet this year. Chevrolet is in the black, and well in the black, all because of this car. They didn't know it was going to do this well. They knew they had to build something for America, because America, as you know, we keep going to Asia, we keep going to Europe, we just don't stay home when it comes to buying a car. Chevrolet has done it. The name of the car, the Camaro Z82. You got to see the car, you got to drive it. I'm sure you've seen it on the streets. Drive it for yourself. Be impressed. And I know you will. Rancho Chevrolet, where they service everything they sell. And that's why they've been in business for 30 years in the same location, that being in Reseda, on Reseda Boulevard, just 1 block south of Sherman Way. You know where that is? I'll say it for you again. Reseda Boulevard, 1 block south of Sherman Way in Reseda. Rancho Chevrolet on the right-hand side of the street, or what would that be? The east side of the street. You can't miss it, okay? Rancho Chevrolet.